What is the real reason behind Robyn Brown's children? On sister wives being kept apart from the original wives and children. I would love to sit and talk with Robyn's 5, Maddie Brown Brush said. But is that going to happen? For more information, continue reading. The real reason Robyn Brown's children were segregated. The fact that Robyn Brown's children are not close to their other siblings is well known. The OG3 did not accept Robyn's 5. And the sister wives star pretended that it was all their fault. Brianna, Dayton, Aurora, Saul, and Ari would all be welcomed into the households of the original 3 wives. However, Robyn forced the OG13 to knock and tread carefully, which made her home quite unpleasant. In any case, prior to the relocation to Flagstaff, there appeared to be some unity within the group. The women in Flagstaff live far apart, whereas in Las Vegas, there was a cul-de-sac where everyone could congregate and play. Additionally, Robyn said that Cody's sons had treated her disrespectfully, so she made every effort to distance herself from her 5. But there was a desire for change after Garrison Brown's death. The original children and spouses were gathered on one side of the tomb, while Cody, Robyn, and their 5 were on the other. Maddie Brown Brush expressed her willingness to speak with Robyn's children to their sibling Leon Brown fans. Don't believe she can apologize if she ever hurts them. Despite her desire to do so, one Sister Wives fan explained why they didn't believe Maddie could talk to Robyn Brown's children. She will never be able to, as Robyn has been teaching her kids for years that the original Browns, particularly the original 13 kids, despise them. Brianna and Aurora have even expressed that they believe their wives and other children never truly welcome them. Furthermore, Cody and Robyn's youngest kid, Ari, has declared her hatred for Christine Brown Woolley. She couldn't possibly know that she didn't like Cody's ex-wife without being reminded Robyn's ultimate objective. Does Robyn Brown intend to keep the children apart? In the end, the fact that everyone stood apart as they bid farewell to Garrison Brown really irritated Sister Wives fans. Maddie Brown Brush feels sorry for the other kids because of this. Additionally, the way Cody and Robyn made their 5 pawns throughout this whole issue has angered viewers. I find it unsettling that Robyn's children have been drawn into all of the drama by Can and R. It was simply intolerable to tell them they were never accepted. Even though, yes, people overhear things, etc., Robyn's children are messed up, since their mother has already taught them what to think of everyone. They are unable to judge someone based just on their conduct. According to one, they witnessed the OG wife's intense desire for relationships with Robyn's children, since the parents and the rest of the family have always expressed a wish to keep in touch with Robyn's children. I personally ignored this criticism even as she was departing. Christine expressed her desire to have a relationship with them. The children are typically kept apart from the parent-child conflict at all times. Robyn is ultimately to blame for her 5 children's separation from the family. She said she so desperately desired to be a part of all of their siblings will welcome them back. Though if the children do open their minds, fans of Sister Wives commend Gabe for being a wonderful guy. In contrast to Cody Brown, Gabe Brown is praised by Sister Wives fans for being a wonderful man. They believe that he is a better person than his dad. Following the most recent Sister Wives show, viewers came to appreciate Gab's wonderful character and Janelle's excellent parenting. They also understand, though, that he is a better person than Cody could ever be. To learn more about this, continue reading episode. Heirs Garrison Brown dies last year. Garrison Brown tragically died. Everyone was surprised when he took his own life. However, for apparent reasons, Sister Wives paused production after the break. They just began showing the episodes they had taped. Fans witnessed Garrison's grandmother burying him. The majority of viewers sobbed during this emotionally charged episode. One of the brothers who spoke his emotions openly and honestly was Gabe, and all the time he was there for his mother. Everyone engaged had a difficult time during this period, but Gabe took charge when he didn't have to. Gabe is praised by Sister Wives fans for being a good guy. In contrast to Cody, in contrast to his father, Gabe is being praised by his fans for being a wonderful man. Gabe is a treasure. Janelle doesn't have to be the Teflon queen with him, since he is so gentle and nice. He has great emotional fortitude and is a wonderful dude. He is someone he can rely on, as are his mother and other family members. I'm not sure if I should call him a mama's boy, because in my experience that term is frequently used negatively. Moreover, he is unquestionably a good son. He is an incredible example of a human being brother, friend, and son. Bluard having a Gabe in our lives is a great blessing. His father could never have been the man he is. Now he is a charming man. I wish him well in life, and that he keeps thriving fans. Adore Gabe and are eager to follow his future endeavors. It appears like Gab's admirers are complimenting him on every aspect of his character they do. However, attribute Gab's identity to Janelle Cody had a lot of children, so he wasn't around often. Nonetheless, they believe his son is a far superior person than he would ever be after the most recent episode in which Gabe supported his mother through everything. This became even more apparent. What are your thoughts on this? Regarding Gabe, do you agree? Comment below with your thoughts. Your opinions on this matter would be greatly appreciated. A gradual and agonizing division has begun to take hold in a large family that was before bound together by a common faith and multiple commitments, once renowned for their enormous, unusual home. The Browns' narrative is now characterized by emotional walls, miscommunication, and distance. The unacknowledged divide between one wife's children and the rest of the family is at the heart of this division. It took time for this family drama to develop. It didn't start with a single outburst of argument or treachery. Rather, it infiltrated covertly with hushed criticisms and icy shoulders, with selective inclusions and progressively redrawn borders. People who used to be able to laugh together in public places have matured into adults who find it difficult to simply look each other in the eyes. The children of the wife who entered the family last have frequently been estranged from one another. Their true integration has long been a mystery, despite the fact that they are formerly part of the family. With the same titles and expectations, unity was promised from the beginning when the family resided in a close-knit desert hamlet, where playing and mingling took place in shared backyards. However, the family's interpersonal ties deteriorated as the landscape changed and they moved to a remote mountain village. The death of a beloved sibling whose abrupt exit from the world left an open wound has made the separation even more agonizing. The family's actual presence for his farewell said more than any words could. The mom and her kids were standing on one side. Conversely, the original wives and their children came together, united not only by blood, but also by common sorrow, unspoken suffering, and experiences. One of the original wives' daughters said she wished to restore the damaged relationships. She apologized for any unintentional hurt and told a sibling that she would welcome the opportunity to talk to the newest wife's children in an emotional and regretful exchange. Her sentiments were sincere, stemming from years of lost holidays, missed birthdays, and a desire to reconnect. However, years of miscommunication can smother even the best of intentions. A terrible reality has been brought to light by some observers of this family's journey. The story that is told in one home has influenced the way that these kids perceive their extended family. Young hearts are impacted by stories, whether they are accurate or misrepresented. Some of these kids were allegedly raised to believe that they were outsiders, unwanted by their half-siblings. One of the younger branch's daughters has said she never felt fully welcomed, while another has said she hated one of the original mothers. A sentiment that would have been hard to develop without suggestion. The children's hearts were not the source of this emotional split. They planted it, and it spread over time, fostered by recurring tales of abuse, inflated slights, and parental advice that value division above solidarity. It is difficult for a home that requires knocking to enter and has a cautious, tense atmosphere to foster sibling bonding and friendliness. The invisible barrier persisted despite the older wives' declarations that their doors were open and their hearts willing. The olive branch never made it to its goal. Not because it wasn't sincere, an offering that has been tainted cannot be accepted as this story has developed. Many family fans have expressed their disgust. Children are being used as emotional props in a bigger play. They have pointed out a sour taste has been left by the perception that these kids were informed constantly that they were unwanted instead of being a path. It has turned reconciliation into a mountain. There have been repeated doubts about the newer wife's motives. What used to be perceived as a genuine wish to fit in with the family has come to seem more and more like a divisive tactic. She managed her children's perspectives, maintained their devotion, and safeguarded her own emotional story by keeping them apart. The elder spouses, meanwhile, have repeatedly expressed a desire to keep up relationships with all of the children, not just their own. One of them made it clear that she would always welcome the younger kids even as she packed boxes and got ready to start a new life, distant from the dream they previously shared. Her heart was spacious. There would always be safety in her home. Still, nothing was different. Even if only briefly, the sorrow of losing a cherished brother brought everyone back together. But that moment showed the division rather than the unity. Witness reports and photographs show a distinct division, a quiet declaration of who supported whom. Years of emotional distance are reflected in this physical separation. Stiff welcomes and silent judgments had long since replaced the echoes of laughing from their cul-de-sac upbringing scattered among the pieces of what once was the vows of unity made when the last wife joined the family now feel like broken promises. A few hearts still harbor a glimmer of hope in spite of everything. That vision remains in the mind of the daughter who longed for communication, for truthfulness, and for healing. Her readiness to speak up is a tiny light in an otherwise gloomy environment. She thinks that healing might start if the younger siblings are ever given the opportunity to witness the truth for themselves. Not the stories that have been told to them, but the reality of waiting hearts. But hope alone is not enough for healing the person who has kept her children close. By keeping others at distance for so long, must be honest. It takes guts to acknowledge that sometimes the issue is not what was done, but rather what was said about it. The story of this family is complicated based on aspirations of unity and put to the test by human frailties over time. What started out as a vision of togetherness has evolved into a study of emotional distance. Even if many people still harbor feelings of love, it won't be simple to get back in touch. Children who were raised behind emotional barriers may discover that there are still arms waiting to embrace them if they ever decide to climb over them, that their future need not be shaped by the tales they were fed. Even though that family is broken, it still has the capacity to come together. Ultimately, this is a story of possibilities rather than merely isolation, the potential for quiet to be shattered. So miscommunications might be resolved, that after being kept separated, siblings may eventually cross paths without being filtered via the suffering of others. Viewers have been drawn to one young man in particular in the emotional fallout from recent events on the long-running reality series about a huge poly family, a son who has shown himself to be far more responsible, kind, and grounded than his own father. Fans worldwide have expressed their respect for one sibling's perseverance, emotional transparency, and persistent presence, while they continue to digest the sadness surrounding the loss of a cherished family member during some of the most trying times in the show. Gabriel, a young man whose quiet courage and genuine empathy have spoken eloquently, is that sibling. Although the family's patriarch has frequently come under fire for his unpredictable actions, emotional distance, and partiality, Gabriel has come to be seen as a loving and honest man. The kind of person that viewers wish the father could have been, Gabriel did not withdraw into himself after learning of his older brother's tragic death. Rather, he took the initiative to be a rock of support, particularly for his mother, who was dealing with a grief so great that it was threatening to destroy her. Instead of concentrating solely on his personal suffering, Gabriel directed his energies toward consoling the people he cared about the most, giving his all in ways that few anticipated, but many appreciated. He appeared to be much wiser than his years, based on his attendance at the family get-together by the burial, his obvious sadness, and his consoling arms around his mother. These scenes, raw, sensitive, and incredibly human, where fans first realized Gabriel's true nature. The young man was praised on social media, where many said he was altruistic, sensitive, and emotionally aware. A viewer said, "He's the kind of man the father in this story could never even hope to become." Another stated, "You can just tell that his mother raised him right. His heart is so big, he's a gift to those around him." Message boards, comment sections, and fan communities all expressed a profound admiration for Gabriel's humanity and humility, echoing these thoughts. Some viewers even went so far as to claim that Gabriel was a symbol of the new masculinity the family needed, one that was based on empathy and responsibility rather than ego and power. The sharp difference between Gabriel and his father was one of the most moving lessons learned from the most recent episode. Gabriel performed the exact opposite of the father figure, who has frequently given preference to some family members while maintaining emotional distance from others. He entered areas of unease and grief, providing comfort rather than distraction, empathy rather than blame. Supporters said that Gabriel's bond with his mother reveals a lot about the man. He is trust, respect, and emotional safety form, the foundation of their relationship, which is uncommon between a father and any of his children. Gabriel welcomes his feelings and uses them to connect with others rather than to distance himself. Some viewers recollected previous seasons, pointing out that Gabriel had already demonstrated emotional intelligence and a great capacity for introspection. He didn't want attention or be noisy. He just listened intently, paid attention, and provided wisdom when it was most needed. He's always had a quiet depth about him, said one admirer, and now in the wake of tragedy, that depth has become a lifeline for those around him. Gabriel is being defended as a representation of compassion and emotional development in the larger conversation of what constitutes a decent brother, parent, or son. The older male family member, on the other hand, is being criticized for not stepping up to the challenge, for letting his own prejudices and fears put up barriers where they ought to have been created. In contrast, Gabriel has constructed such bridges when others close their arms. He has opted for emotional connection over control and vulnerability over bluster. This contrast is both upsetting and hopeful for many people. It's heartbreaking because it shows viewers what the patriarch of the family could have become hopeful, because it demonstrates that a new generation is conceivable, one that chooses a better course for the future and learns from the mistakes of the past. In the words of one observer, Gabriel is the light in the shadow left behind. He's the kind of man this world needs more of. Furthermore, it becomes evident as the episodes progress that Gabriel's influence extends much beyond the screen. He stands for a type of emotional bravery that cuts beyond the drama of the family and speaks to something universal: the strength of being fully present, even when everything else is crumbling. Fans can't wait to see what Gabriel will do next. Many people hope that his story will continue to be told in a way that honors his generosity, courage, and unwavering devotion to his loved ones. More than anything, fans are cheering him on because they think that someone as genuine and grounded as him should have a future filled with love, peace, and acceptance. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Get more updates daily. See you soon.